Or she'd say, "Ooh, I smell hot cocoa and I smell muffins." And he would immediately go back inside with her. And it kept him from getting so irritated and agitated when she handled it in that way. And it really actually gave them, I know it sounds odd, but it actually gave them a different special relationship, because that was sort of what they did together, is to be able to have that hot cocoa. And it was good memories for her, because right. Christmas time, Thanksgiving, that's family. And that's when we do build our memories. And so what advice would you give to us for building those new memories, Marianne, when it is such a difficult and devastating disease?
I think too, it's getting to know that person. Who are they right now? I go back to that because sometimes it comes through in our communication. They get out the door. We get angry. We try to force them back in. That hurts a relationship. But if you can go with that person, talk to them. She made a memory by saying, "Let's get some hot chocolate and some muffins." She made that memory. She implanted something in his mind that was something good. If there's something that that person always liked to do, use it. Bring it out and say, "Oh, did we ever play checkers?" And he or she may remember that every night after dinner, you played checkers together. Anything that you can think of that they used to do with you or with anybody else, because you have to remember that you are the person that they want you to be.
Yeah.
I was always my older sister, and I would listen real carefully because I wanted to know how she was when she was little and what kind of antics she got into. So, and she would just talk and talk, and finally Mother would look at me and she'd say, "Well, you're not her." No. I said, yeah. "No, but I sure did. I sure miss her." And she'd say, "Yes, me too." So we would talk about whoever it was that she had thought I was. And sometimes we never brought it up. It just depended on her mood. I'll let her guide my conversation.
Right.
And that is the best advice I can give you.
Yeah. Well, after the holidays too, we can sometimes see that dementia get worse. And I know that you have some really good thoughts on that about it may not always just be the dementia.
Yeah, it could be something health related. It could be a urinary tract infection. It could be dehydration because you're not as focused on this person. You're busy taking all the decorations down, and nobody's been really focused on that person to make sure they're drinking enough liquids. Maybe if they're diabetic, maybe it's the sugar level. And they've gotten into the cookies that you didn't know, and so their sugar level is up. It will make them look like they are progressing when really they're not. I think one of the biggest things that we forget is that hydration comes from more than just water. That you can give them some high water fruits and make a snack. I think if you can remember to do those snacks every day, you're not overfeeding them. You're just giving them small meals. And that's important for anybody to keep the sugar level from dropping, even if they don't have diabetes. But dehydration is another one that's huge. Maybe they're not getting changed enough and they develop that infection. All of these things sometimes we just forget because mom looks the same, she acts the same, but mom is not the same. And so just remembering those things that that she likes.
I know too, it can be constipation. I know that's one of the other things that we see. But it's so interesting that you use the words, "I wish, if we could just remember," or "if we don't forget." So you've used the exact words that we often see and use with people who have dementia. And as difficult as it is, like I use sticky notes everywhere just in my normal course of my day. So imagine it is difficult as a loved one to care for someone, and we certainly recognize that and know how difficult it is. But it's also difficult for the other person because they have lost their memory. They, especially at the beginning stages, I know they think something is wrong, but they oftentimes blame it on others because it's so hard. One of the things I've heard you tell me so many times is if you've seen one person with dementia, then you've seen one person with dementia. Do you want to just sort of wrap up and tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, you have to remember that all of us are different. We may look like we have the same makeup with the skin and the eyes, but you've got to remember that we may look alike, but we're not always, our health is not always the same. We have different things going on in our body because we're all different, no matter what anybody says. There's no two are alike unless you're an identical twin. And I think still you may have a few differences with that as well. So remembering that everybody's different. You may go to a class and you may hear, oh, they're going to do this and they're going to swear and they're going to yell and they're going to scream. Well, not everyone does that. Most of them may use a curse word occasionally. After the holidays, when there's been so much confusion, you may have a bit of time to realize that you've just got to be calm when they accuse you of things or they say things. You've just got to be. They're not like the person you heard about in a class or on a program or something that you read. You've got to focus on that person and what their reactions are. Look at their body language. It's not the words, it's the body language. Watch your own body language, because that affects them. And what we want to do is value them as the person they are, not who they used to be, not who they might be, but who they are right at this moment in time.
Thank you, Marianne. What amazingly insightful and inspiring words for us. For more information about Alzheimer's, visit the Alzheimer's Association website at alz.org. I am Dawn Benninghove, your host for the Home Care Companion. We hope we have added another tool for your toolbox today. And for more information about Companion Extraordinaire Home Care Services, you can visit our website at www.cenninc.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcasts, downloaded straight to your device each week.